What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with Guni after an absolute shit show at Elland Road, and I'm telling you, this is like the 5th attempt of me recording this video because I absolutely lost it in the other ones, and I might lose it in this one still. But before I get into the content, obviously make sure you do like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts down there in the comments and all of that stuff. You get me? But let's get into today's game, and the first thing that I want to speak about, the first thing that I want to talk about is the lineup. I want to talk about the lineup. In fact, no, forget about the lineup. I want to talk about one position and one position only. Can you guess what position that is? Obviously, it's the midfield. The biggest red flag that I saw before this game when my confidence went from here all the way down to here was that midfield pivot of Jorginho and Gallagher. Poor Gallagher, his debut full start for Chelsea Football Club in the Premier League, and you're playing him out of position. I'm seeing the fans on social media getting onto Gallagher saying, oh, this guy's a fraud, he's not good enough. No, no, no. You lot are completely wrong. Yeah, because this is down to the manager. You need to understand that I do love my manager, and I'm not saying that he needs to go, but boy does he need to sign some midfielders because he is not being vindicated by the decision of not signing one. Yeah, and I'm talking about a CDM. I even made a whole video about this with my guy Mike. Big up Mike, who is speaking the real shit. You get me? Speaking on the importance of a DM. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go back and watch that so you can understand the thought process behind this. Yeah, but let's get into the game. Yeah, from minute one, Leeds absolutely bypassed us. That's going to be the key word today. Bypass, bypass, bypass. The midfielders are basically non-existent. It was Swiss cheese, fam. Yeah, getting through way too easily. Yeah, putting pressure on our defenders. Early yellow card for Koulibaly. Why did that happen? Bypass, 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 putting our defenders under pressure. That's exactly what's going to end up happening. Your defenders are going to get booked. The more that they get exposed, the more risk that there is of them being passed and having a one-on-one through on goal, or them being booked and eventually, in Koulibaly's case, getting sent off the pitch. Am I going to blame Koulibaly? Am I upset at the defenders? Absolutely not. Why? Because there's a certain position that is being neglected at Chelsea Football Club that we need to address before the window closes. And in fact, I'm going to take it even deeper than that, yeah? Because two things I'm about to say. Number one, I was told that Casemiro would not do a job in this Chelsea midfield. Casemiro is washed. There's a reason why Real Madrid are selling Casemiro, yeah? Well, he's over at Manchester United, and I can tell you this for free. We're not losing 3-0 if he was in the base of that midfield. 100% we're not. And another thing that I will say, I'll even go as far to say this. We've got two midfielders in this Chelsea squad currently that could have done a job in that position, yeah? Number one is Billy Gilmour. We've seen him do it before. Number two is Ethan Ampadu. He could have done a job as well there, and I guarantee you we would have had a bit more control of that midfield. So we're going to start off with the first goal. Edouard Mendy, absolute shit show. Am I surprised that it happened though? Absolutely not. Why? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This has happened several times with Edouard Mendy. And you know the second thing that I'm about to say? It should have never happened in the first place. Not just from Edouard Mendy's perspective, but the fact that we were playing back to goal and we were being pressured as much as we were should have never happened. We're Chelsea Football Club facing a Leeds that was struggling to stay in the Premier League last season. They should be in the Championship right about now. Fair play to them. They're not in the Championship. They're here in the Premier League. But they made us look like the Championship team today. 1-0 to Leeds. And from there, you thought Chelsea were going to pull up their socks and get on with it. But unfortunately not. We was just getting battered and battered and battered in that midfield. Tyler Adams, by the way, for Leeds, we made him look like prime Busquets, fam. And it was too easy. It was way too easy for him. We made it easy for that midfield. The amount of space that we was giving up in behind that midfield, even in the central areas, was absolutely ludicrous. It was diabolical. Which brings me on to our transfer window and our gaffer, Thomas Tuchel. You need to address that midfield position before you think about addressing that attack. Yes, I said it. Because there's loads of people on social media that are saying, we need a new striker. We need another winger. We need somebody who can put the ball in the back of the net. Well, I've got news for you people. If we're not getting the ball into the box and creating enough quality chances for any of these attackers to be scoring goals, the same strikers are going to face the same problems. Your Aubameyangs, your Lewandowskis if he would have come, so on and so forth. You name it. I guarantee you the same problems would have happened. Which brings me on to my next point. Every time that we did go forward and a ball was being played in, what was happening, people? Let me hear what you thought. What was happening, people? Either the ball was being blocked by the first man, the defender of Leeds, or we had one or two people in the box against 4 or 5 5 of them. Law of averages is going to tell you that we're not going to win enough balls. And on top of that, we're still persisting on playing high balls to a 5'7", 5'8" Raheem Sterling. Make it make sense to me. Make it make bloody sense to me. It makes none whatsoever, yeah? And here is a glaring fact that I've been talking about, yeah? The commentator in the game said something that was very, very interesting. Yeah, on the 66th minute, we had a shot on target. Reece James, lovely shot, good save from Meslier. Yeah, but he said that is the first shot on target Chelsea have had since the 22nd minute. And this is what I am talking about. Why are we struggling like this if we are quote unquote creating these chances? Because we don't have enough bodies in the box. Why do we not have enough bodies in the box? Because of our midfield deficiencies. And you saw them today. Yeah, you saw them today. Because Thomas Tuchel and the staff know that if we have too many bodies forward and we're leaving Jorginho isolated and even Gallagher in this situation, we are going to get bypassed and we are going to put pressure on the defenders who continually have to step out of that line, step into a high line and be put under pressure. What happens when defenders have to do that? They leave spaces in behind them and smart players are going to exploit it. Happened to us twice. After the Edouard Mendy mistake, it happened to us twice, which is why we lost 3-0. And to be completely honest with you, we're lucky we didn't lose by 4 or 5. Yeah, some of you are surprised by what I said in the group chat because Jack, big up Jack, did leak it on the back again account, what I was saying about how we're going to lose 4-0. Was I wrong? Well, except that we missed out. We're lucky that they didn't get the 4th, but they could have got more. This is terrible. Now, another thing that I need to say, people, is that just because I am criticizing the manager and I am talking on a problem that is slapping us in the face and that has been for the past 4 years almost, yeah, doesn't mean that I want the manager out. It just means I need him to go and address the situation. Otherwise, well, as it stands for me, top 4 is going to be a myth. Now, I know that we're only 3 games in and we should have won the last one, but it's not the big teams that I'm worried about. I've said this before. Your Tottenhams, your Manchester Cities, your Liverpools, even in the Champions League, those are not the teams that I worry about because we turn up for them. It is the smaller teams because of the way that they set up. If a team is going to set up to hit us on the counter-attack, we are fucked. Literally, I'm sorry about the language, I'm just absolutely fuming, but we are absolutely screwed. So am I surprised that this result happened? Absolutely not. But Thomas Tuchel needs to take account for what happened today, because this guy came out before the game and he told us that Gallagher is a similar player to N'Golo Kante. The only similarities that I see between the two players is the fact that they both have an engine on them. They both got good stamina. But outside of that, nothing at all. Nothing at all is similar. So we set up for failure. And I feel sorry for Gallagher, a young player like that in his debut game for Chelsea Football Club. A club he's been at since the academy, yeah, being played out of position. How many times are we going to keep on seeing this without addressing this in the transfer window? Yeah, when our man, because there's no excuses now. Yeah, except for the fact that you can say, oh, we don't have a director of football. But this is a problem that is there. If us as fans can recognise this, how are they not seeing this at Chelsea Football Club? Why are they telling us that we do not need midfielders? Does it look like we can rely on Kovacic and Kante? And is this new information? Is this new information? I've got to ask you. No, we know that they're both injury-prone players. Nobody is denying the quality of the two players, but you can't rely on them. They're liabilities when it comes to their injuries, because now, look, at the beginning of the season, both of them are gone. As soon as Kante came off, I knew we was banging trouble, but I had the hope. The transfer window's still open. Hopefully, Chelsea are going to address this situation. It's not just one midfielder that we need, people. We need to get rid of a lot of these dead midfielders and we need to bring in some new blood. We need several midfielders. But the urgent one that is going to stop the damage, that is going to massively do damage limitation, is that CDM. I cannot emphasize how important that is. Like I said, I've done a video with my guy Mike emphasizing the importance of the CDM. Make sure you go back and watch it. I'm going to tag it down there in the description. But what I saw today was absolutely disgraceful. And the fact that Jesse Marsch came out and said that he was confident for today's game. Leeds United, you know, one of our northern rivals, fam. Yeah, and we went there and put in that performance. Absolutely shocking. Yes, some of our attackers need to hold responsibility. I thought Kai Havertz was anonymous. I thought Mason Mount could have had a better game. I thought Raheem Sterling tried with the opportunities that he tried. But listen, here's an interesting thing, yeah? Do you know Raheem Sterling has only had 6 shots on goal since he's put on the Chelsea shirt at the beginning, from the beginning of the Premier League season? Can you tell me if that's acceptable? And players and people are going to blame Raheem Sterling. No, no, no. It tells you that there's a problem. There's a massive problem. We need to address that midfield. People, if we do not address that midfield, I am telling you now, yeah, this is what's going to happen in the Prem come May. Manchester City, top of the league. Liverpool, second. Arsenal or Spurs, third. And if one of them teams don't get third, they're definitely getting fourth. And guess who's that going to be at the expense of? That's right, my beloved Chelsea Football Club. Do you think I want to see that? Do you think I want to be sitting here talking like this? This is the times where I don't enjoy doing videos. I don't enjoy doing videos like this at all because this shit hurts. I don't want to see this. But we are in for a very long season. If our manager thinks that we can go into the rest of this season without addressing that midfield, people, we are in for a long season. And you best hope that we win this Champions League because that's going to be the only way we're going to get into that competition next season. And I know this video might upset people. You're only 3 games in, Guni. You're being too reactionary. Nah. We've been singing this song since the tail end of last season. I've been saying it. That CDM is key. It's going to cost us. Now Arsenal are fixed up. Look at them. They're going to fly. Now Tottenham are fixed up. They're going to fly as well. We need to address that because if we do it now, if we address that now, if we get 2 midfielders in before the window closes, I guarantee you our front line is going to benefit from it because the consistency of chances and the quality of chances that we're going to create with that CDM there, yeah, because our midfield are going to trust what's behind them, that is going to allow us to get more bodies forward into the box and in turn, we're going to have more shots on goal. Rule of averages are going to tell you we're going to score more. You get me? But listen, I know this one was a bit of a rant, but I'm absolutely fuming. And I don't feel good about being right about this situation at all. I'm going to come back with a interactive live. I'm all sweating under these lights and all this anger and shit. Yeah, I've got a towel here that I need to dry myself off, man. Dry myself off on some rush hour thing. You get me? I've got to dry myself off because this shit here has really, really pissed me off. But people, look, I apologize for a lot of the bad language. I'm just a passionate fan and I've been really triggered by what I saw today. It was a very difficult watch. I'm not going to lie to you. I really felt to switch off the TV after seeing what I was seeing. But listen, man, I had to watch it all the way until the end. People, let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. We're definitely going to talk some more about this in the week or possibly later on today when I bring up the interactive live. But listen, people, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please make sure you stay safe. Peace.